Me alone now. You gotta do it.
No, it's all good. I wish I was.
Luke, first part question is Jacoby Myers. Can you talk about, I mean, very few guys lose a WR1, but you still have one. Would you talk about Jacoby Myers and what he can do even more now?
Yeah, I think anytime a player like Tay, and you plan and do whatever, and you have to move on to a different direction, whether it be injury or whether it be this type of situation, whatever it might be. You're always going to have those things that happen during the season, and then the luxury of having versatile players on your roster is really cool, and it helps ease that burden, and you find different ways to go attack what you're trying to attack. And Jacoby's an outstanding example of that, like the flexibility to be outside, inside, in the backfield or whatever, and the football IQ capability to be able to handle all that, the toughness to handle all that stuff, all that is just exemplifies who he is.
I know that I'm not asking you to give up play calling secrets or that kind of stuff, but I'd like to ask you a philosophical question. First drive coming out of the second half, 1st and 20, that's not your fault. That's a player execution mistake. But you run up the middle, 2nd and 18, run up the middle. Then you throw on 3rd down. Will you talk about, maybe take us through, again, not specifics, but just your strategy and your play calling philosophy, please?
Yeah, no, I think it always, you go through your whole week of preparation, right? And you have a plan for everything that you're gonna see in the game, and occasionally you get kind of surprised by a few things, but usually not. And in those situations, sometimes you're in 2nd and long and you want to run it. Sometimes you're in 2nd and long and you want to throw it. And it's more about what you expect to see. And I think as you're going through the game, now you're in the second half, you're evaluating what the defense is doing to you too. So then, from that perspective, you give your guys a chance to go execute plays. And, we did that. We gave our guys a chance. Did we execute them? No, obviously not. We didn't do a very good job of that. But as far as run or pass, there's not I don't think one gives you a better opportunity to get the other, right? The mindset is when get back on track, as we referred to, we're trying to get half of it back. And whatever that is, if it's a throw down the field, if it's a screen, if it's a draw, if it's a run, whatever it might be, that plan happens during the week, and we make sure that we take a look at everything, and whatever the best opportunity to get us that opportunity to get half of it back, that's what we're trying to get done.
Luke, yesterday, Devonta said he felt helpless in the offense, kind of as far as ability to make an impact. Why do you think he went wrong with Devonta? Where did it go wrong with Devonta, you think, as far as having an impact in the offense?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I think, after all those conversations his whole time here, for whatever reason, it went the way that it went, and, we wish him nothing but the best, right? Obviously, I have a pretty special relationship with him, and so, I wish him nothing but the best, but as far as all that other stuff, we're in great shape. We feel great about who we have in the building, and we're just moving forward.
In the first drive on Sunday, Madison had a lot of touches and then didn't get touches the next couple of series. What's your philosophy on balancing out, making sure that a player gets into the flow of the game versus mixing it up a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's what was the first drive? 10 or 11 plays, right? And I think he took all 10 or 11, and so you want to give balance to all the guys, right? And in that particular week, you had Amir in, you had him, and we had a really, that first play coming on the second drive, also we went 3 and out, but we're whatever you want to call it, just our guard turning just a little bit to his left away from a 40-yard gain on a screen that Amir's running wild, and we're all going crazy. And then credit to Amir too, because the rest of that game, I think his play style, his running, obviously he had the issue in the goal line, but other than that, I thought he was running hard. He was doing a great job. So to be able to have multiple guys do that stuff, I think that's really important. I think that going through one game or a season with one guy taking a ton of the carries or having to handle all the protection issues and stuff like that, I think it's impossible. And so we want to get more than one guy going. We always will. And I think whenever we go through the game, we do a pretty good job of evaluating exactly kind of, who has the hot hand, and we usually stick with it.
Has Madison kind of earned that first spot, or is Jameer coming back now, kind of make that him like a platoon or
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, right, Tutu has earned everything he's gotten since he's been here, right? He's kind of done it the right way. He's come in, he's worked hard. He's not, expected anything. He's earned everything, and I think all the reps in his play style and his, efficiency and what we're trying to get done, right? He knows what to do, how to do it, the way to do it. He's taking care of the football, all that stuff. So I think he's earned all those opportunities for sure.
Luke, I know that Brock Bowers is listed as a tight end. but now even maybe more so, maybe even more pronounced, in terms of his versatility and just being an ultimate kind of a weapon. Does this open the door maybe for him to show more of what he's even capable of doing and being a part of this offense?
I would say, I'm going to say yes, because I think he's a young man that's capable of a lot of things, and I think what makes him so dynamic, though, is that he plays the position in the complete sense. He can play in line, he can get off the rock, he can block, he can do pass protection, he can run routes out of it, he can run from the backfield, you can widen him out and he can run them. So from that sense, I think that versatility, same thing we're talking about with Jacoby, that's what makes it so dynamic, right? Because he's not only just capable, but he's more than willing, and he loves this game. And when you have a bunch of guys like those guys that love the game, they're playing that way, and they can do a lot of different things because they just got a really high football IQ. It really opens up a lot of stuff and we hope to just continue to build his game, right? It's not something we're trying to put everything on him. We want to just let his game just continue to grow each and every week.
Has there been any discussion about moving you upstairs to get a different perspective on the game rather than keeping you on the field?
I think that part of it is a little bit irrelevant in my mind. I think we had that discussion maybe in training camp. I think you guys asked me that question, and my perspective of being able to see there, being able to communicate on the sideline is really cool, really important, and I think the benefit of being upstairs is that maybe you get a bigger picture of the whole thing. So I've done in college, I told you in college when I called it, I was upstairs, and at this level I've been on the field, so I'm comfortable either way.
You guys have talked about, you like that Kano gets the ball out quickly and, makes decisions pretty quickly, but would you like to see him be a little bit more aggressive in situations, in terms of pushing the ball downfield, maybe taking some shots that take longer to develop, and maybe he's not getting the ball out of his hands as quickly?
There's probably moments that you could say yes, and then there's moments that you would say no. I think that's the cool part about playing this position is knowing when you have those exact opportunities, you got to take them. Or even as you go through the week and you plan and you say, hey, when this is the call, the expectation of this call is that we're taking that opportunity. So are there a few of those? Sure, but that's every week with every quarterback, to be honest with you. And some guys are just a little bit more, some guys are a little bit less, but I think it's all part of the growth and where we're going with them. But like you said, I thought what was really cool to see, I just thought his footwork was awesome this past week. I thought the processing part of it was awesome. He really impressed me with a lot of that stuff. You could see his growth from where he's come along in his career.
Luke, at the start of the season, you struggled with getting that early start. Now you've had back-to-back games with good starts, but then kind of just dies off. So what's the message to your team, and how do you get them to play those 4 quarters?
Yeah, if we just look at it very critically, right, we just got to take care of that ball, right? That's the thing that a lot of that stuff that will go away if we get rid of that part of it. And these other teams are good too, so you're going to have plays that don't go your way, and I think handling the adversity of all that stuff is really important, and I think we're getting way better at that each and every week, and so we just got to continue to do that. And whether it's a fast start or whether you got to play the middle weight or you got to finish strong, I think those guys are all on the same page, and we're just going to continue to get better with it all. I really do believe that. I think you see it out there. I think the way you see these young guys like DJ and Jackson and Brock and all these guys, it's just getting better each and every week. I think it's all really positive, and we're really excited about where it's going.
Tayshawn, he just asked a question about being aggressive, taking shots down the field. Trey Tucker's been the guy that you've been able to do that with. However, how much more involved would you like to see him in kind of like the short game and the intermediate route game and stuff like that, instead of having to always go deep?
I think Tuck's capable of doing a lot of that stuff, and he already kind of really has, to be honest with you. I think part of it all goes with who's in the game and how we're doing it, how we're going about it. And now, there's more opportunity for him now too. So I'm excited to see him kind of grow in all those different areas. And he's as tough as they come. You guys watch the film. You go in there and he's sticking his face on second level defenders, third level defenders all game long. So he's capable of doing all of that, and he's, we're excited to see where he can take this thing now moving forward.
Not going into your scheme, but the Rams have a lot of yards through the run game, and obviously you all have struggled a little bit. But do you feel like this is a game where you can have a productive run game?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Not necessarily because of them, but part of it, but because we believe in what we're doing and we believe we're getting better at what we're doing. We got to get more cracks, right? We had 20 snaps in the first half last week, 20 before it becomes a 2-minute drive, and so we got to find a way to get more cracks at the back. And I think that's as much as anything. If we're not, if you're living in that 55 to 60 play games, you're not going to get those types of numbers or opportunities. You're not going to see a 20 carry game from somebody. So we got to execute better on, as we come out, and we can't have the 3 and out. We got to execute better and finish that thing. And I think that's what changes all that stuff. We take care of the ball, and we can finish or start those drives a little bit cleaner. All that stuff, as far as balance and where we're going and all that stuff, will clean itself up.
We talk about your 2 rookie offensive linemen.
Yeah, they've, it's really cool. Young players. I mean, I threw Brock in there too. I think it's just really cool to see how these guys have, come in here, their confidence, their comfort, in playing the game at this level, and their ability to pick up things, right? And you try to do your best to kind of grow it, but these guys really allow you to go out. They go out one time, and whether they make the mistake or they got it, like the next time they're not making the mistake. And I think that on top of their play style, their relentlessness, I think that's just all really cool stuff for for future Raiders. Yeah, it's gonna look good.
Going back to Brock, and of course a lot of players, great players in the day. Why is he so good after the catch?
You said Brock. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
Brock,
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I mean, some guys like, he's a natural football player, and what I mean by that, like, he understands spacing. He understands his awareness of what's going on around him. I think all that's real. I think so when he catches the ball and he knows he has space, there's no wasted movement. There's no figure it out. There's no bubble around it. It's catch, drop, step, get vertical, and go, right? So you're seeing him catch checkdowns, and they're turning them into explosives. And so all that awareness of space and the people around you is something special that not everybody has, but he has it. And I think that on top of understanding where he's supposed to be conceptually, and then the toughness part of it. I think that part of it is probably the most important.
Great, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke.